All right, my friends, how's it going? Let's jump into some macro on this video, and you'll have to excuse me. I'm sick, so I'm just kind of slow on the uptake right now. What I'm going to look at here is I want to show you some macro and kind of ease your mind about how this happens every single cycle, how we have this volatility right around this point, just above all-time high, where that breakout occurred. So we're going to look at some different things here, and you're going to see how it all comes together. So just make sure, I'm not going to timestamp this because it's going to be a shorter video. Just be sure to watch the whole thing because you'll kind of see where this is all going and how it all connects together. But I'll go as fast as I can here. So currently, there's about 11%, a little bit less than 11% tokens that are on the CoinGecko site that are currently bullish. So it's a very small amount. It means that most of these altcoins are at a discount. And I'm going to show you here, from a macro standpoint on this as well. If you look at this purple line that's coming down right here, that top line there says it's about, it's just under 11%. So 0.10948. Every time this happens during a bull market, you get a pump. So this is about 10% right there, 10 or 11%, and then it curled up. This was around October. Here's another one right around October, same exact spot. And then it happened back here. I guess it really didn't get going until like January, March back here. So Q1 and Q4, which, Q1 of course is January to March, and Q4 is what? October, November, December. Yeah, October, November, December. I had to go through all the months in my mind just to make sure I had that right. So yeah, even the long term, this gold color one right here, the long term holds are still turning up. The bullish long term view on altcoins, it is slowly turning up. So when this purple one pumps again, when the short term, all the alts that are, short term bearish currently, when they turn bullish, then, this yellow line is going to go up much quicker like it did right here. Well, this was back in the last bear market, so it doesn't matter, but I just want everybody to understand that we're not in a bear market. Some people use that terminology that just because price is going down, that we're in a bear market, but the cycle timing is not over, in my opinion. Of course, none of this is financial advice. I do need to mention that, but I'm just showing you what I see based on my 2 cycles of experience, and I believe that we will go up again, and it's going to be a powerful move. The only thing I don't know is if this is a cycle more like 2017 where it just slowly grinds up, even though it has some volatile moments, or if we're just going to have a blow off top. Nobody can really predict that. So, we'll keep an eye on that for you and help you out. I keep saying we, like I have multiple personalities, but I just mean collectively, we're going to work together. And I guess the reason I mention that is we have a Discord channel and we talk about, a lot of Discord channels are probably quiet right now, but, we keep talking and, talking about the market. But we have a unique feature here. Where is it at? Here it is. So Engineering Robo AI Alerts, which is a indicator on TradingView, and I believe it's the best one. We have signals coming in here showing us buy signals, sell signals for some of the tokens that we're following and some requested tokens by members. So if you're interested in something like this, there is a link below in the description where you can click through and join our Discord, or you can check out this Engineering Robo indicator, which it looks like, let me find one here. I'm trying to find one that already has the signals on it. There it is right there. So it'll tell you where to buy, where to sell, and usually we use the daily chart. But what I was going to mention here is anytime we get 3 buy signals, usually that means that it's good time to go risk on. If we get 3 sell signals in a row, then it's time to go risk off. And it's worked very well. It gave us the exact January, was it January? Might have been December 10th of last year top. Let me just verify that real quick. Yeah, so there was another top in January. Yeah, right around December 17th looks like. I'm on the week. No, I'm on the daily, okay. So anyway, yeah, this thing gave us 3 sell signals right around this point. And even though we had another pump, it did get us out. Some people got out during that time because they were watching the signals on Engineering Robo. All right, so get back to this. Talked about that. M2 money supply, you're seeing a lot of people talk about it now. We were talking about it a lot last year. And what we're looking at is it's usually about a 10-week lag. And currently we're on week 8. So this red line is money supply. And that means that we're probably about 1 to 2 weeks from this turning back up for Bitcoin, in my opinion. And then here on the MVRV Z-score, we're still way down here. I mean, usually the top happens near this red box or somewhere at least by this, 6 area right here. So I think we got plenty of room to move up still. Some of you are probably interested in what's going on with ETH. I'm not really seeing any, reason to be concerned about it. I've still got my support line way down here. You'll notice that with something like Bitcoin dominance, it had a big wick up here into resistance. And I think that's probably your top right there. Now, can it revisit that top? Sure, it could. But we'll just have to see what happens there. Once this turns around, you may notice some similarities here. Let me put this back on line chart. That's usually what I have it on. So notice how this right here is the reverse mirror of this right here. Like if I inverted this chart, now these look exactly identical, right? So they are opposite one another. So this is basically this, and then this comes up, this goes down. So as soon as resistance rejects here, you're gonna see ETH and ETH chain tokens go ballistic, in my opinion. And that's what we've been, we got a whole list of tokens that we've researched that we believe are gonna do really well, 20x, 30x. Some may only do 5 to 10x, and that's gonna happen, but you're gonna get a few, and I'll show you one of them here in a minute, that is one of our favorite ones. I've talked about it before. All right, what I wanted to talk about here is that currently on the macro scale, we're still bullish. I'm here on the left window here. So this is a kind of like a buy-sell cloud on Engineering Robo, but it's on a higher time frame, so it lags. But you got your buy signal way down here, and then it broke through the cloud, and now the cloud is green. So understand that it's very hard for this thing to break down out of the cloud once it gets above it. So for example, it came up here, it found support right near the bottom of the cloud, although it did break a little bit below it, but a full candle didn't hold below that, and then it pumped again into November 2021, and then it had trouble breaking back down through it again, but it eventually did. So we really haven't even tested this low line yet, not even once, once it broke through. So it could still, that's why I put these 2 lines here. This is the breakout of the all-time high back here. So there's the breakout. And so you never really know from cycle to cycle exactly what's going to happen. But this thing apparently was overheated, needed to come back. I've got a box right here that could be, the support area as this thing comes down. Because remember, there's nothing but air right here right now. And, it's very likely that this is going to come down here now that it's broken down. But sometimes you have to wait and see that first, because this could have just kept going sideways and then broke out again. So you need confirmation first, and you got a big wick down right here, but the candle didn't close below this one, so it wasn't a true breakdown yet. This weekly candle is your first indication that it's probably coming down to this box, but we'll see. I mean, it could just be a fake out as well. There is a CME gap somewhere in here that people have been talking about a lot. And these gaps don't always have to be filled, but usually they are. So what I'm looking at from a daily perspective is there is a trend line right here, this blue one. And I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like by the time that it's done, but that would kind of coincide with this. It could come down here. One thing I was gonna mention is if you go back to, what was it? I think it was 2017, yeah. So in 2017, you had a 38% drop roughly. If that happened again, then you could, it'd be pretty close to this purple line. It could dip a little bit under it. So that's why I have these 2 lines right here. So between like 73.5 and 69K, we'll call it. Although that would be more like 66 if it was to come under that line there. So, it could be even 66 here. What would that look like? Yeah, that would be those 2 candles Yeah, that would make sense actually. So I would say that this is more like the box right here that it could fall into. And that would coincide with that line right there at the bottom of the, the green cloud. So just understand that's a possibility. It still wouldn't concern me. The only way that it would concern me is if we closed a candle below this line. And the reason for that is because on the weekly, that was your all-time high for 2021, where the candle was. So if you got a full weekly candle close below this line, then it would be time to be concerned, that the market was over. But I think people are being way premature on saying that the bull market's done. There's just no way to tell that yet. And one other thing I wanted to show you, see, I might need to make this bigger. Okay. So if we go all the way back, I just want to show you, this may ease your mind. Every time you broke all-time high, you came up and then you had some kind of correction. It's a little bit harder to see that one because the price action was a long time ago. But there you go. It went down, went sideways, and then it pumped again. Here it is again. Pump, whatever you want to call it, crash, correction, pump again. And this is when all-time high breaks, remember? So here's our next all-time high break in 2017. Pump. Doesn't this look familiar? You had a pump, and then it came down, had a correction. And you could even take a fib and say, okay, well, how big of a correction was that? Well, it stopped at the 382, so it really wasn't that much at all. But then you had a much bigger pump with some volatility on the way up. So really that was only about halfway, when you're talking about how much of a parabola that is, how vertical it's getting. I mean, this is what we want to see. We want a lot of verticality out of our price movement. Down here, it's a little bit flatter. And I even posted that in a recent video, or a recent, post on Twitter, how this is flatter, and then you get a much more vertical move here, something like that. So more flat, more vertical, and you'll see it over and over. It's just more flat and more vertical. Of course, this one was kind of weird, but still the same idea. And then a more vertical. So this always happens. And then if we look at this one and compare, you're going to see some similarities here. I think this is the one, or maybe did I drag it all the way here? I guess you could use that. I don't know, I'm tempted to leave this one back here actually, because this was under the all-time high, this was below the all-time high. I mean, you could make a case for including that in this box, but I won't in this case. I'm going to say, what if, I don't know, it actually could be, because I'm still not seeing any verticality. So, if we're going to get some kind of vertical move here, I don't know where it's going to end up exactly, but something like that. Could be more of a flat, a flatter trajectory than previous ones. But you can see, I mean, clearly, there's always been a vertical move before the top. We haven't had any kind of vertical move for me. But if you look at this one back here, this is very similar, right? I should really do this on two screens, but what I'm comparing is this and this. So pump down, pump down. I don't know if you include all that as one pump. These are just going to rhyme. They're not always going to act the same. But here's your all-time high right here, this purple line. And there's your rejection for that. And then you had another pump and it came down. So that's basically what's happening now. But notice how this one right here, it didn't actually come all the way back down and retest that breakout. So it's very difficult to know what's going to happen here. If it's actually going to come down here deeper and then do like it's going to make it look like a head and shoulders so that people think it's going to fall out, but then it turns back up. Or, is that the bottom? I don't know. Could be the bottom. These wicks sometimes to the downside are the bottom. There's a little bit of a shoulder there that could act as support, but maybe it's just trying to cover that CME gap and then it's ready to go again. So, we'll see what happens with it, but I feel good, based on what I just showed you and my experience over multiple cycles, that we're still going to see another pump. So hopefully that'll help ease your mind as well. USDT dominance is starting to get up into a resistance area. Not worried about that. Here is that token I was going to tell you about, Cincy. We played it from here to here for a 10x. Some people took profits. I don't remember where I took profits, maybe here somewhere. So I took it a little bit early, but I'm going to buy back here fairly soon. My only question is, is Bitcoin done? Has it found its bottom? I don't know. I need to see more price action here at the bullish above line. I do use this as a support line, even though this one says support down here. So it would be correct to actually buy some here, but I'm really hoping I get a better discount. But you could do trend lines, stuff like that, and just wait for it to break through the trend line. So something like that. If it keeps rejecting, then I'm just going to buy down here near support somewhere, or somewhere in there. I don't want to get left behind, because sometimes it just dips a little bit and takes off. Okay, let's just look at Nansen real quick. We'll wrap it up. I tried to see if I could find some tokens that, that are longer term holds that are being accumulated right now. Let's just start on large caps here. There's really not a whole lot of activity. For your net flow here, this is positive net flow. This means that more people are buying than selling. So the only ones that are up here are like Pepe, Crow, Maker, Jupe, Uni, and ENA. And that's over the last 7 days. Oh, and by the way, this is just for Solana, Ethereum, and Base. I mean, I'm sure we'd get much more if I included more, but these are the only ones I really wanted to look at. So let's just look at a couple more here. Here's mid-cap. Seems like they're getting more, more purchases right now. So you got Virtual at the top, 421K net flow. FAI, EUL, which we found early through our alerts in our Discord. ARC. What else? PopCat. WIF. So, FWOG. So, some of the usual players, checks. And let's look at small caps. Small caps are any that are under 50 million. A lot of money coming into Toli, Doge AI, Serve, Shogoth. I'm just talking about ones here that are familiar. Moby might be familiar to you. And here's the very small microcaps that are usually brand new tokens. So maybe you don't want to look into these because these are under 1 million market cap. But there's a couple here you might be interested in. Usually, you don't know one way or the other if these are going to survive. They just could be pump and dumps and that's it. But, there it is if you want it. And then as far as the chains go, this will be the last thing we look at. I'm just going to see which chains have the most activity right now. So over the last 7 days, if we sort by, well, we probably don't want to sort by activity. Let me see what I want to sort by here. Maybe transactions. I guess that would be activity. Okay, so Solana still dominates, has many, many more transactions than any other chain. Fees are way down on it, which the fees were never that bad, not like Ethereum. But you got Solana, then you got Tron, Near, Base. Ethereum's kind of there, which I still think that Ethereum chain tokens are going to do the best, but we'll see. Active addresses are down about 6% over the last 7 days. So not much activity. The most active as far as active addresses is Aptos, which I don't know much about that one. But you can see here on Nansen, and I've got the link below for a 10% off on Nansen if you want it. This is just one feature, and it may help you to find what the most active chain is. And maybe you just play in brand new tokens in that chain, and it might be a way for you to make money. I've never actually tried that strategy, but it might work. So if you see things like Ethereum, starting to gain traction, I mean, Ethereum fees are way down. What are they over the 30-day period? They're down 64%. So anybody complaining about fees a month from now when things are pumping, that's their fault. They should have been buying when things were cheap. remember all of the tokens, we just talked about it, all of the tokens on CoinGecko, there's less than 11% of them that are bullish right now. And this little blue line, this horizontal line right here going across, that's your entry threshold, meaning, Nansen sees that as a very good discount during a bull market. And then this would be where you'd want to sell if it, all these lines got back up here like they did in May and November of 2021. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to show you. Let's wrap it up there. I still am going to do that alert video, showing you how to do alerts on Nansen, and we'll do one for Moni coming up soon. But I need to get over this sickness first. Hopefully I'll be over it in the next couple of days. But if you have any questions, ask them below. Hit the like, hit subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. And again, all those things are down in the description below if you want to join our Discord, or if you want to research for yourself using Nansen, or if you want that trading view indicator that I believe is the best indicator on TradingView, called Engineering Robo. I've got discounts for all those things below, and there's even a free 7-day trial for Engineering Robo. Okay, well, y'all have a good week. I'll try to do another one this week if I get to feeling better. But I think that will wrap it up. And if you're still feeling nervous about things, post a comment below, and I'll be happy to answer it if there's something I didn't cover for you. All right, take care.